All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man, Jay. We're going to be talking about battery life on the Z Fold 7. So remember, this is just a discussion about my experience with the battery. You're going to have a different experience, or you could have an even better experience. So a big thing about the Z Fold 7 is the battery life. It wasn't increased, but it wasn't decreased either. So, open up, folks. Open up if you have a folding phone. Open up. Open up and enjoy this beautiful aspect ratio that I'm giving you on this folding device. So, and if you have a Z Flip, you put it in, you open up and you fold it in half and you get full screen that way. But if you have a phone with a folding screen like this, open it up and get all this folding goodness. It's going to fill the resolution for you. So let's talk about battery life, because battery life is something that is always important to somebody. When you buy a phone like this, some people equate battery life to price. And sometimes you just can't do that, because there are phones out there that are not in this price range that don't have good battery life. And there are phones out there in this price range that don't have good battery life. And then there's phones out there that are kind of in every lane, it can produce good battery life. And so battery life, you always hear me say that it depends on the user. And that's just what it is. So I'm going to go back 3 days. Technically, this device was charged about a day and a half ago, and I have 31% left at this moment. And it's saying I can get another 11 and a half hours, but that's not going to happen. There's no way I'm going to make it 11 and a half hours on 31%. That's an estimate probably of the standby time. But usage wise, I could probably get another 5 hours out of this of usage, like of the 11 and a half. I might get another 5 to 6. Possibly. And then in that 5 to 6, I can probably get another 2 hours or maybe an hour and a half, depending on how I'm using it. So I'm just going to scan back 3 days. As you can see, I charged this phone a day and a half ago. And I'm going to show you my screen on time for each day. Now, a lot of people get caught up on screen on time. But remember, I'm a creator that I don't get caught up on screen on time. I get caught up in the time of usage. So for me, I've gone pretty much a day and a half with this phone with the screen on time that you guys like to hear about. Does that make sense? So Bumpy Cam, I got to patent that. I've never patented that for all these years. So when I look at this, I just look at this for just entertainment purposes at this point, because I think this phone has good battery life. And, why some people can't make it through a full day, I don't know. It always depends on what you're doing on your phone. And there's these things called resource hogs. So one of the main resource hogs is Facebook. Now, you guys always hear me talk about, I'm uninstalling Facebook. Well, that's because I don't have a Facebook. I don't use Facebook. You know what I mean? So that's why I uninstall it. Years ago, when Facebook first dropped, I obviously had a Facebook. But once I realized certain things about Facebook, I took it down. I deleted everything. I took it down. And if I have like this shell Facebook account for companies that need me to have a Facebook, that's it. Like Meta and all that stuff, like Instagram, they require you because it's linked together, obviously. So, but I don't officially have a Facebook for personal use. And I don't keep it on the phone. If I have to go through it, it's to the web browser to do what I need to do for the company or whatever, or what I'm going to get done. And that's it. So let's go into this here. So we're going to look at today. I've been on my phone today for just under an hour. You know what I mean? So you can see the screen off time and the screen on time. And you can see the battery usage. All right. So I've used my phone today just under an hour. As of this point, you can see it's 11:39 in the morning. So obviously I'm going to use it more than that. I've got a bunch of phone calls to do. I've got messages coming in, everything. Emails I'm checking from this thing. It's just everything. So I'm going to get another hour and a half at least out of this phone before the battery dies. You know what I mean? So as far as whether it's on Wi-Fi or 5G, I'm about, because you see I have Wi-Fi 7 and this phone has Wi-Fi 7. So I'm about, right now I'm going to say I'm about 55% 5G and 45% Wi-Fi. Yeah. That's about my usage. So let's just call it 50-50. You know what I mean? On the usage for how I'm using the phone, even indoors. I turn off Wi-Fi sometimes, because sometimes I have a smart home, so everything in the house is connected to Wi-Fi. So I have 1 gig up and 1 gig down. So I have solid internet, but sometimes I just want to get off of that, and I'll do speed tests throughout the house just to see if my service is improving. You know what I mean? So I stay on Visible. I'm using this on Visible Wireless right now, as a matter of fact. But I've tested it on T-Mobile as well. So it's obviously it's flawless. But let's go back to when I last charged the phone. So here we go. Let's go here. Yesterday, I used it just over 3.5 hours. Yesterday, I used it just over 3.5 hours, and it was 20 hours at that point of standby with 50%, 51% battery. So this is just a kind of a benchmark for you, for how my life is with a battery. You know what I'm saying? So that day, I gave it the most use since charging it. Now, if you look on this other day here, there's not a lot of usage. You can see when I fully charged it, but I still used it an hour and a half, basically. So you got an hour and a half, you got 3.5 hours, then you got another hour. So you tally up that screen on time for those that feel like they can't make it through a day. You tally up that screen on time and you calculate it yourself if that's what you want to do. Again, personally, I don't go on screen on time. I go that, hey, I haven't charged this phone since late in the day on the 13th, and I went all the way through the 14th. I charged it late in the day on the 13th. I went all the way through on the 14th, and then the 15th. You see what I'm saying? So that is how I look at using a phone. I'm not always in review mode. You know what I mean? I try not to be when I'm trying to get a natural flow. But at this point in the game with this phone, the Z Fold 7, I have to give you these numbers because some people are going to be concerned about this. So don't look at it as though Samsung didn't put a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in the phone. Look at it as though they didn't decrease the battery in the phone. They were able to keep it super thin and still give you a 4,500 milliamp hour battery. So yeah, I want them to do the silicon battery technology. Don't think I don't. Yeah, I want them to. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just say it. I think this phone's battery is good. Now I have, I'll be posting something online and I can see people saying, oh, this battery, I couldn't make it through a full day. How can people do it? I guess because other people that follow me or I follow, they're all somehow linked. You know how the system goes. And I'm just looking like, how could you not? What are you doing on your phone? And I've seen some people post like the entire screenshot of what they're doing, and I can see why they don't make it through a full day. They never put their phone down. They're literally just keeping the screen on and just going through frivolous things. How are you getting any work done if you're not if you've never turned your phone off or put it down? You know, a good test of the battery also is, for me, I play music through Bluetooth, but the screen is off. That drains the battery too, but not as much as a person would think. But it does drain the battery. So, and when I'm doing a phone call, like I've expressed before, the screen is off, folks. You don't need your screen on to make a phone call unless you're doing a video call. Yeah, that's when the screen is going to be on. But other than that, folks, I would say charging this phone on the 14th, the 13th, and going all the way through the 14th, and then here's the 15th. I'll get another hour out of this phone, maybe. Hour and a half, maybe. I'm not going to get at 11 and a half hours. That's for sure. I mean, standby, yeah, I probably could do standby time, 11 and a half hours, but I'm not going to get another 6 hours of usage. Maybe I could if I just, you know what? I could probably if I just leave a movie running and just watch a movie while I'm working out or just do something. To me, that is a real scenario, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to give you false numbers like that just to prove to you that the phone can go 3 days and 9 hours of screen on time. That's not realistic. When I work out, I have a big TV in the workout room, and I turn it on and I work out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is for me. Bumby Cam number 2. So all I'm saying is battery life on this thing can be great, folks. It just depends on you. And I'm not telling you to stop using Facebook and stop using your favorite apps. I'm telling you that you need to find a way to be efficient. You bought this phone, and this is for the people that are watching this after the launch, after everybody has theirs, and they might have some concerns about battery. But if you're watching a person like me who got a review unit, I'm really using this phone, folks. I'm making phone calls. I'm doing everything under the sun that I would do because I was using my Edge full time. You know what I'm saying? This was my full-time flow, and I had to put it aside because I got to review this phone for you. So I'm using it. I'm not saying other people aren't. I'm just saying this is how I get down. So I can't tell you that you're going to get perfect battery life. I can't tell you you're going to go a day and a half, 2 days, 36 hours, 48 hours. I can't tell you that. What I can tell you is I can do it because I have a life. I'm not saying other people don't. I'm just saying I have a life, and I use my phone like 3 hours, 3.5, 4 hours of screen on time in one day. That means the screen is actually on, and you're doing something on it during that day. And if you have that, like you charge your phone to 100 and then you just open it up, maybe that's your job. I don't know. It could be a long discussion, but I don't want to go too deep. All I'm saying is battery life is battery life, and the battery life is always going to depend on you, point blank. So if you have concerns about the battery life, I say you really don't have to. I think you're going to at least make it through a workday. And the people who are not making it through a 8 to 12 hour workday, what are you doing on your phone? Like, are you actually working, or are you on your phone? I don't know. But it's your man Jay. I'll leave a link to the description to purchase this phone, along with people kind of notice I switch microphones. So I have the K688 55 mic. It's a kind of a ASMR mic or a podcast mic, and I've just been using it to record with lately because it's really good. So I'll leave a link to it in the description. But get this phone if you haven't already done so. A lot of you guys have pre-ordered. I've seen the post that you guys, the votes that you guys did on the poll I put up. Yeah, I think it's worth the grab if you're wanting to get into what Samsung is doing at the current state. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be bringing you lots of folding information again. So if you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all these places, you see what I posted, you see what's coming. So it's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you opened up to enjoy this full screen video all on your own. Take care.